Yo, what is up everybody? Happy New Year. It's 2024 and this is my first video drop in the new year. What we're doing today is polishing these headlights out of my 2009 Ford F150. I have a bunch of videos on my channel about the truck. Go check it out if you haven't already. Today we're going to be polishing these headlights. Stay tuned guys, because I'm about to show you how I do this. For this we're going to start off with some 500 grit wet sandpaper. I'm going to get the headlight wet, sand a spot, see how it looks, and we're gonna go from there.
Alright guys, so with my block and my 500 grit sandpaper, I'm going to go over the entire headlight, try and get a nice even coat so I can see how much I'm actually going to have to knock this headlight lens down. You don't have to go crazy with it, just make sure you go ahead and get across the entire lens and make a nice even sand, wipe it down and get an idea of what it's going to look like before you jump into your next step. So I have some huge goals in the year of 2024. I'd really love to get 10,000 subscribers. So if you're not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and let me know what you think about these kind of videos. I'm always trying to find out what works best for you guys. So let me know in the comment section below what you think. And if you have any questions on this process, I'd love to try and give you a hand. So I wanted to speed up the process a little bit, so I went ahead and grabbed my dual action sander with some 1500 grit sandpaper, and I'm just going to go ahead and get a nice even coat over the entire headlight lens and make sure that I lift up as many scratches as I can from the 500 block sand that I did. And you can see right there, it's still lifting a ton of dirt and grime out of the headlight lens with the 1500 grit, so it's still sanding, but it's also knocking down any scratches from the 1500. From the 500 grit sandpaper that I was using to block sand. I'm super comfortable using a DA. You could do it too, but if you want to block sand, you could do the entire job block sanding. You go from 500 to 1000 to 1500 and just keep bumping up the grit of the sandpaper and you'll end up with the same results. It just takes a little bit more elbow grease and a little more time that I didn't have. It was cold and I just wanted to keep moving forward, so I go ahead and I hit the whole thing nice and evenly with this 1500 grit on my Porter Cable dual action polisher, but it could work as a sander too. I'm comfortable with it, so that's what I use for the rest of the job until I switch over to my Bauer polisher. So you can see here I'm getting a nice even sand across the entire headlight, and I'll do that until I know for sure the whole thing is nice and evenly done, and then I'll move to the next step, which is 3000 grit Trizac. So here we go guys, these are the results you want when you're finished with your 1500 grit sandpaper. A nice even fog across the entire headlight. It looks dull, but this is where you want to be after you're done with the 1500 sandpaper. So when you move to your Trizac, it's going to lift all this up and you're going to get a good idea of how many scratches are left or what else you need to sand out. Alright guys, so for the final step of sanding, I grabbed some 3M 3000 grit Trizac. It's what I use for the final step before I polish on pretty much all of my jobs. A lot of people don't love it, but I seem to have great results with it, so that's my final step before I polish. What it does is kind of lifts all the rest of the scratches out of the paint or the lens, and it gives you a good idea of what it's going to look like when you polish it, but it still remains hazy before you polish, so it just gives that final prep right before the polish and makes it really easy when you go to polish. Now I have my polisher and all I'm using is a heavy cutting compound. It's Meguiar's 105. It's probably one of their heavier cuts, but it does leave a nice shine. And I have a heavy cutting pad on my Bauer dual action sander, or my dual action polisher, I'm sorry. This is my tool that I use to polish all my cars. It's pretty cheap. I got it from Harbor Freight. They really make a ton of different brands, so you can't go wrong if you want to pick one up. This one's from Harbor Freight. It was only $100. And I've loved the tool. I've had great success with it. So here we are, guys. We've got the final results, and look at that headlight. Look at the way it shines, and you can just see how clean it looks compared to where it was in the beginning. If you go back in the beginning of the video, you see I have it next to the other headlight, and you can really see that it's a night and day difference. So if you guys like this video, leave a comment in the section below how you think it came out. I love the results. I'm excited to install it back on my truck and put it all back together to see how it looks on the truck. If you guys haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Your views mean everything to me, and I have huge goals, like I said, for the year of 2024. Let's see if I can get 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year and make this channel something special. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next video.